Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. This is actually part two of the last conversation that we had. And remember, we dealt with overwhelm and we defined that as having too many options. And then that got me to think about another experience that I had just a few months ago. So whenever we swapped from 2023 to 2024, at New Year's, I decided that we needed to start solving for other problems. And so the goal here was to define with our church what problems we had, and then so strategy is just prioritizing. So like we had to create a strategy for how to grow our church. And now we could start with small groups. We could start with starting a kids ministry. We could start with starting a teens ministry. We could start with just running paid ads and inviting people to our Bible study. We could start with having other Bible studies, which we've done before. We could start with putting out more content. We could start with sending email blasts and raising support. We could start with calling pastors that I know and raising support, or just getting people to pray for us. We could start with 1,000 things, but the problem was only one or two of those things actually matter for right now. Now, do they all help us? Absolutely. But do they all help us the most? No, they don't. And so think like if you have 10 units of energy, or 10, let's do 10 inches. If you have 10 inches of energy per day to give to something, you can put 1 inch in 10 different categories, or you can put 10 inches in one category and actually make a difference. And so that's what strategy is just choosing which buckets you're going to invest your energy into. And overwhelm happens whenever you try to assess all of the different buckets at the same time and don't prioritize which ones actually matter. So for us, here's how I make decisions, especially in the church world. And then, this goes into other things, and you can use the same framework for yourself too. It's ask yourself this question. If I solved this problem, would it take care of the rest of the problems? And so for us right now, I thought about what our church had, the problems that we had, and I knew that you can't grow a church if you don't get more people in the door. Okay, so that's a problem. You can't grow a church if you don't have money for it. That's another problem. Although that was less of a problem because we already have a small bank account to draw from. You can't engage people in your church if there's not some semblance of interaction with other people. And so a solution for that would be small groups or Bible studies or things like that. It's harder to attract families if you don't have children's and teen ministries. That's another problem that we have. But then I zoomed back and I was like, but wait, we still have another problem that causes all of these things just to be irrelevant, because we don't even have a place to meet on Sunday mornings. And so I was like, well, what if we just solve that problem? That would probably take care of the other ones. And it has. So we worked with Southeastern. We're renting the place. Hopefully this week I'll be able to sign papers and get in there officially, like sign the contract and be 100% 10 out of 10 in this place. And so that takes care of the other problems, because if you run paid ads, so like if we put Facebook or Instagram ads out and we invite people to our church, now there's actually a place to invite them to. If we have a community problem and people aren't feeling engaged in the church, well, right now there's not even people to feel engaged. So like trying to start small groups is getting it out of order. Like there's not even a problem yet. And so what we have to do is solve things in order of importance. And those dogs are loud. And ask yourself, if I took care of this, would it take care of those things? And if the answer is yes, then that is what you put all 10 units of your energy into. Okay, so basically that is how we are going to approach our goals, how to set goals for our church, and then how to allocate our energy for each of those goals. And so right now, the energy that I've allocated for the last couple months has been to find and deal with a location. Now that we have that presumably solved, the next problem is going to be, how do we get more people to come to that location? Now we could optimize for something else like the best teen group in Hammond, but that doesn't make sense if there's no teens to even deal with. So now we have to get people into the room, get people into the church, and then we'll solve the next problem that actually has the most bang for the buck. Okay, so that's how we think about goals. That's how I do as a pastor. That's how we'll lead our church. And I encourage you to think through that same framework next time you have a problem that you're facing. Hope that this helps, and we'll talk later.